Hello and a very warm welcome again. We are back again with a new discussion. Today we are going to talk about first wave feminism. Before that we have done a basic introduction of feminism, then we moved to the proto-feminism, and now we are going to the first wave feminism. To begin with, the first wave feminism is referred to that early phase of the feminist movement, primarily occurring in the 19th and early 20th centuries. Now, this period was marked by a focus on legal issues, particularly women's suffrage, the right to vote. And now, this movement laid the foundational work for gender equality, addressing social, economic, political issues that hindered women's progress. Moving on to the historical context, now the roots of first wave feminism can be traced back to the Enlightenment era, where philosophical discussions about human rights began to surface, and now this movement gained significant momentum in the mid-19th century, inspired by the abolitionist movement and the growing awareness of women's rights. Now we have already discussed some of the key historical figures about this movement in our first video of feminism, but today again we are going to discuss about Seneca Falls Convention, organized by Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Lucretia Mott in 1848. This event actually marked first women's rights convention in US, and this convention produced the Declaration of Sentiments, a document outlining the rights that American women should be entitled as citizens. Very important event. Now this suffrage movement, activists like Susan B. Anthony and Emmeline Parkhurst played crucial roles in advocating for women's voting rights, and their efforts culminated in the passage of the 19th Amendment to the US Constitution in 1920, granting American women the right to vote. Now the key themes and objectives of this first wave feminism. This wave actually is focusing on several key issues. Number one is suffrage. The right to vote is the central concern of first wave feminists. Legal reforms. Early feminists advocated for changes in laws that restricted women's rights in areas such as property ownership, marriage, employment. Education again is another key theme of this first wave feminism. Improving women's access to education was seen as vital for their empowerment and independence. And last is economic opportunities. This movement actually sought to expand women's opportunities in workforce and address issues of economic inequality. Moving on to the prominent figures of this first wave feminism. Mary Wollstonecraft, a very important figure of this first wave feminism. She is an early advocate for women's rights. Her seminal work, A Vindication of the Rights of Women, published in 1792, argued for the education and rationality of women. Elizabeth Cady Stanton, she was a key organizer of Seneca Falls Convention, and she was a leading voice in the suffrage movement and co-authored the Declaration of Sentiments. Susan B. Anthony, again a prominent suffragist. Anthony played a vital role in campaign for women's voting rights and co-founded the National Women's Suffrage Association. Emily Pankhurst, again a British political activist, she founded the Women's Social and Political Union, WSPU, known for its militant tactics in fighting for women's suffrage in the UK. Now, the achievements of this first wave feminist movement. Legal recognition, very important. The passage of the 19th Amendment in the US and similar legislative victories in other countries marked major triumphs for women's suffrage. Increased awareness, again, this movement raised public consciousness about women's rights and laid the groundwork for subsequent feminist waves. Institutional reforms, Changes again in law regarding property rights, education, employment opportunities for women began to take shape. Now to conclude with, Now this wave to conclude with is a pioneering movement, and it significantly advanced the cause for women's rights. Its focus was to for the right to vote. The legal reforms created a foundation for future feminist efforts, and all this moved towards gender equality. Now, understanding this era is crucial for comprehending the evolution of feminist thought and ongoing struggle of women's rights. We'll meet again in a next video. These are the bibliographies. Bibliography, you can go through this list and read this topic in detail. Happy learning to all of you. Thank you. We'll again meet in the next video.